Yeah, now we play in the third place game, but I think in a lot of ways it'll bring some motivation. I won't have to talk too much about getting the guys up for the match. They'll be excited to play the U.S. I think we respect the U.S. a lot and know that they're a really good team. And we'll definitely want to go for the win.
1-1. All right, words from our former co-host of Call It What You Want, Jesse Marsch, ahead of the U.S.-Canada game. Chuck, that was a fun interview. We got a little snippet of that. Hopefully the full interview will drop at some point if it hasn't already, because we had some good answers from Jesse. But the big news that everybody should know is that Alphonso Davies, who started against the U.S., though there was reports that he wasn't going to start because of a hamstring issue, ends up coming out 10 to 12 minutes into the game, and it got reported yesterday that he tore his ACL, and he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. His agent said this. His agent, Nidal Hussein, said, "I'm very disappointed. Alphonso was not 100% after the Mexico game, and it was planned that he was not going to start against the USA. On Saturday night, the expectation was that he would not be in the 11. As a captain, I feel he was pressured to start the game by the coach." Yikes. Any thoughts on that, Chuck? Yikes.
This is unfortunate. And when these injuries happen, it's you are kind of looking to point the finger, especially if you're the agent, right? Of how could this happen? We thought maybe they would rotate. We knew Jesse wanted to win this game. We knew the Canadian national team wanted to win this game. They knew how important it was, I think, for both sides. But I think for Canada, under Jesse, still trying to establish where they are. And because this is part of the process of where they're trying to go for a World Cup. So ultimately, if there was anything wrong with a player like Alphonso Davies, he should not have played. If he did have a hamstring issue, he should not have played. There was no need to risk him in a third-place game in the Nations League at the end of the day. It would have been a great opportunity to push other guys forward and give other guys a look, and that's ultimately what he did because he came out in the 12th minute. So you didn't need him to beat the United States, which makes it even that much more unfortunate.
Okay, well, Canada Soccer have put out a statement of their own in response to what this agent is saying for Alphonso Davies. And we're going to throw that up on the screen. And ultimately, it says this: "We want to express our full support for our men's national team captain, Alphonso Davies, as he recovers from this unfortunate injury. Canada Soccer's coaches and experienced medical staff are true professionals and have always prioritized player safety and well-being. Anything suggesting otherwise is untrue." Big tones. I think to steal a word from Charlie Davies, this is ultimately unfortunate. But this feels like it's going to cause some issues within the camp, and I'm curious about your thoughts about this overall.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the agent went after. He clearly went after Jesse, right, in this thing. So prior to the game, we were told Alphonso Davies wasn't playing. Obviously, I was calling this with Chris Whittingham, and we were told that he had a hamstring injury after the Mexico game, and he wasn't playing in this game. So we were surprised when the lineup came out, but of course, we just thought, okay, well, he got over it. It wasn't nearly as serious as maybe they thought it was. And I don't know how that injury relates to a tackle from, I think it was Ajiman, right, on the tackle. So I think it's kind of, I'm surprised that the agent came out the way that he did, and maybe didn't do it. Yeah, the way. Yeah, why he didn't do this internally. Luckily for Alphonso Davies, he signed his contract at Bayern Munich, right? Because that would have been a stickier situation for him had he not, now being out for a while. So it would have obviously taken some leverage away from him. Injuries happen, and they happen in international games. They happen with your club team. This was unfortunate. Again, only a doctor would be able to tell you if there's anything related between the two injuries that would have been. But just in general, I was shocked he was on the field. I really was. Because I just think in third place games, if you're playing for a final, we look at it differently. I don't know if that's fair to the players or not, but we just look at it differently. But in a third place game, you got any kind of knock and you're going back to your club team, in general, you don't play.
Okay, so as a counter, Ivis is in our private chat saying we should consider this. Davies was set to play in the Club World Cup with Bayern Munich, okay, which would have ruled him out of the Gold Cup. So should Jesse not want to see Davies in a good game against the U.S. and his last chance to see him in an official match until the World Cup? That's the counter.
That's beside the point if he's not feeling good. So regardless of what is in the summer from Ivis, at the end of the day, you're looking at right now. Is my player fully fit? And there's question marks about it. Now, if I'm Alphonso Davies, I probably want to play. I want to play. But this is where the agent's saying they should have stepped in and said, even though you're not 100%, and you want to play.
But he says he was pressured. The statements say he was pressured, which means, Charlie, you don't want to play on on Saturday. We determine you're injured.
Are you sure
you're injured? And then I come to you Saturday night, or I come to you Sunday morning and say, yeah, exactly, Jimmy. Charlie, you sure you don't want to play this game?
It's the U.S.
It's the U.S., man.
Yeah.
We don't want to finish fourth. Like we're trying to climb in CONCACAF, Charlie. Come on, you sure you don't want to play? But when you read the statement, don't you think that is what you got? Alphonso Davies can say no, right? In the end, if he wants to say no. Sounds like he didn't say no, which the agent doesn't really express in that statement. But that when you say somebody was pressured, that means for me, there was a conversation had. You went from no, I'm not playing, or this person's not playing, to somehow he got to playing. And that lays the blame on Jesse because he's the only one that could potentially say to Alphonso Davies, yeah, you got to play this team and we need you.
Yeah, right. It's either that or it's not worth the risk. I want you to be healthy. So, I think that's when you got to know yourself, your body as a player, right? And know, okay, maybe something's off, and I gotta put my foot down and say, I'm not ready to take this step and play.
Yeah, I find but the piece of it that I find interesting is that from what we've heard, all reports have said that he participated in full training on Saturday, the day before the game. Now, you and I talked before the show started, Chuck, that whatever, a day before the game is pretty light anyway. But if any of us had a hamstring issue going into a game, I don't know if we would have participated in full training, whatever full training is described as, right? I mean, you're still doing some possession. You're still doing something to get your blood up for about 10, 15 minutes. You wouldn't even participate in that. And from what we've heard, he did participate in that. So, and also, yeah, he's a grown ass man. If he's not feeling it, and obviously he's going to have responsibilities to his club that he always keeps in mind, right? Oh, I've got this coming. We've got Champions League coming. Those are obviously very big games, and he's a big part of what Bayern's been doing under Vincent Kompany. I just feel like all of that would have been taken into consideration, even from Jesse. So yeah, this is a sticky situation, and I wonder how they get this resolved, because I assume Alphonso knew that his agent was going to put this out, or do you think this agent kind of acted alone? That's where I am, because
who knows?
If Alphonso saw it and said, "Yeah, put it out," then that's very clear that he got pressured and he's approving that message. I don't know. This feels like a really emotional response to a guy who's just pissed about what happened. Maybe Alphonso wasn't 100%. There's always a risk, as you guys said. This is not what Jesse was expecting after beating the U.S. So, yeah, wow. Maybe the honeymoon's over.